book friends. Welcome back to Books I Read. I'm Sheila, and I'm so glad you're here. I am so glad you're here. We are going to do some bookish things here. Obviously, it's Book Channel. Woo! We are doing our buddy read. Woo! Of course we are. Stephen King's The Outsider. This is so good. This has been a really great book, if you ask me and my husband. It's been fun. And again, my disclaimer, Stephen King's book, I don't think any of his books are really appropriate for young children. So, preferably an adult audience is what I'm trying to say, with and or discretion is advised. Parental consent, that kind of thing. Alright, and we are going to do like we've been doing. My husband will jump in when he feels like it. If you don't like it that way, I'm sorry. Alright, anyway. Section 9 is No End to the Universe, as you guys read probably in the title, which is July 26th. What was this chapter about? What did you catch? My husband and I, what stuck out to us is when Holly was doing her phone.
Yeah, she's going through like basic forensic stuff. When she stopped off at Walmart. I think that was Walmart.
I think so too.
She stopped off at Walmart.
She loves the Walmart.
She bought stuff to basically turn her iPhone into a black light.
Yeah.
So that she could take pictures in different colors and different spectrum.
Right, because she's trying to prove to Ralph that something exists that isn't human.
The ladies do. I mean, she is real. I mean, she's trying her dangest to get that man to understand.
Right, that we've got some crazy.
There's more to life than what you think you see, and he is just being a bone. Ralph is just being a bonehead. He really is. He's just not wanting to pick up on it. So she gets her phone, does the thing with the light, which he already knew about but didn't do.
Right? Which I thought was kind of weird.
I felt like he was just like kicking his own butt. He's like, yeah, wow. He's like, why didn't I think of that?
Right. So I think pretty much the highlight of this section and or chapter was Holly trying to prove to Ralph that this thing exists. And then
once she shows him, then he starts to get afraid.
Yeah.
I think he starts to get afraid because he's trying to figure out, wow, this thing got through my alarms, got through my doors, got through. How is that possible?
Well, yeah, she's trying to prove that it's not just a man. Yeah. And at the end of this section, Ralph turns to Holly and says, if this outsider exists, and if he was close to Bolton, could Bolton feel his presence? And instead of protesting again about being asked to guess, she answered in a voice that was soft but very firm. I'm sure of it. So, like I told my husband, because I was trying to keep all the characters, in order, I'm like, okay, so the orderly, Holmes, scratched Terry, and then Terry, when he shook Bolton's hand, scratched him. And now Holly believes that this outsider, is going to go towards Bolton. Yeah. Because my husband and I were saying, how did you say it? When it's like they're marked? That's what you're thinking?
The outsider, my thoughts are that the outsider uses that nail to, the one they said people used for Coke or something, whatever.
Right.
But he uses that to mark the people that he's going to use.
Right. That's what we came to the conclusion, which you guys probably have too. If you've read this section, if you've read this section, I'm sure you came to that too. I hope you've read this section. If not, you better turn us off and go read the section. Watch the section. Go read the section and come back. All right. But either way, you're going to go have an intermission. I hope you enjoy it. Have fun. And we'll see you for the next section here shortly. you getting into your October? Well, our year October's almost over by now, probably. I don't know when this one's going up. But anyway, let's go on to the next section. I don't know how to say this very well. I've played it several times, but I still can't repeat it. Bienvenidos, Tejas, July 26th. And what does this this was a long chapter. This was really long. This is when they all arrive at Bolton's house.
Right. He goes, picks him up with his mom, and then they go back to his house. Well, I think they figured out in their own minds is that the thing has the ability to know what Bolton knows. So
Right.
they don't want to really tell him anything because they're afraid that if they tell him, then the creature will know what the heck they're thinking or they're doing.
Right.
And apparently his mom knows a lot.
I
The
know,
old lady,
she
lady's
does.
like up on like supernatural stuff.
But before she starts telling him what she knows, though, she sends Bolton
to go buy some chicken.
and he's like, that's like 40 minutes away or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But they're trying to get information from his mom so that they can protect Bolton, is my understanding.
Right.
You know, to protect her son as much as possible so he doesn't end up dead like Holmes and Terry. So I also like the must and can't. Or can't and must. I like that. I like what I like what they say. It says, had she actually known all along what the finger tattoos meant, Ralph couldn't tell. But he asks him what it meant. He's like, only way to break the can't and must paradox is with the help of a higher power. So I got me one. And he says, what I was taught is that if you get to wanting a drink, stick that medallion in your mouth. If it melts, you can't take one. I just thought that was interesting, the whole can't and want thing. He actually says what it means, but I don't know exactly. Because Holly asks him, you know, those tattoos on your fingers are about drinking. And he's like, right. But, let's see, where does it say? The big paradox is what they call it in AA meetings down here. I first heard it in prison. You must drink, but you can't drink. That's what it was. Yeah. You must drink, but you can't drink. I like that. I just thought that was great. Must and can't.
It's one way of getting yourself to remember. Big time.
Right. To stay sober. I thought that was a really good thing. I thought that was pretty cool. All right. And of course, we're still talking about El Cuco. You know, and there's different things. And they're talking to Grandma. She knows, obviously, Spanish. And then she's talking about the hole.
Right. Well,
because they ask her about the graveyard or the cemetery.
You know, they brought out the thing, and that was another thing that was in common with all of them. Right. The people who had died, there was a cemetery around them. So the creature or other person or the outsider,
wasn't it like their connection to their family members or something like that?
So there was a graveyard that was involved, and when they asked his mom about a graveyard, initially she didn't think about it, and then she brought up the fact that there was a graveyard, but it technically wasn't a graveyard.
Right.
It was just where there were some people that had died that were related to Bolton.
Yeah.
And that, you know, they're technically, it was where they died and their bodies were there, but nobody...
Right, but they're saying now, to elaborate on what you just said, now they're saying that that's probably where the creature's going.
Right.
Because he's drained. Because they are saying that if this has to be like wearing on him, or take what you guys I'm sure have read, it takes a lot of energy for him to be here,
to be popping in and out,
right, and then to be switching bodies or shape-shifting, if you will. So he needs to go somewhere to like recharge, or whatever. And that's what they're saying. And his mom, Bolton's mom, is saying, oh, hey, this is probably where he went. And they're like, how do we get there? So now that's pretty much where we're at. They're suiting up and grabbing flashlights.
Now, while they're doing all that mess, though, that guy with the cancer on the back of his neck, the outsider,
that's right, Jack is on the way.
Him go to where the hole's at. And he's basically setting up like Mr. Sniper Man
Right.
because the outsider wants him to take out
Right.
all of the people that are trying to find him.
Right. The outsiders still trying to stop them.
So they are, you know, the mom's telling them where the hole, you know, how to get to the hole and all that stuff.
Right.
But they have no idea that they're basically getting set up. Now, the thing is setting them up.
Well, they're trying also to not let Bolton know what they're
doing. Right.
So that he can't connect with the creature. Not that he's doing it, you know, himself, but the creature can connect, you know, whatever it is, the outsider, whatever.
Yeah, because I think, because the creature learns all your secrets and your names of your family and all that.
Even Bolton says he has this like sense or this presence of it. He feels like something's watching him.
Right.
But so that's where we're at. They're getting ready to go down into the hole, and Jack and the shapeshifter, the outsider, if you will, is heading that way as well. They're trying to keep stuff from Bolton. The other detective is I think Sablo or Sablo. I think he stayed I think it's you and Sablo or something like that. He stayed with Bolton and his mom. He's staying out in the backyard in the how did the mom pronounce gazebo? She pronounced it gazebo.
Gazebo.
So he's in a gazebo or something like that. But I thought that was funny. And then to conclude, because there's a lot of information in this, so if you guys want to talk or bring up something else in the comments below, that'd be great. But we're not going to continue to talk your head off. I think we've shared pretty much of the highlights.
Yeah, and I only got the one part, the last part that I think we can bring up is where Holly's asking him just to believe for now.
Yeah, where she's asking
before they go in to do what they're going to do.
She's like, just give us 24, just believe for 24 hours. She even says, what I'm asking is simple. Believe in this. If only for the next 24 hours can you do that. And Ralph says, yes, that he can. He's like, then I believe. For the next 24 hours at least, El Cuckoo or Coco exists. Whether or not he's in Marysville Hole remains to be seen, but he exists. And that's pretty much where we're going to stop, wrap it up here. We have just a little bit to go, so hopefully in the next video, I don't see why not, we'll have it finished and we'll be concluding this buddy read. I'm so excited. I'm sad, but I'm excited because it's been such a great book. So obviously to be continued and to be finished, the Marysville Hole and Flint City after. So those are the next two sections and the end of the book, and I'm so excited. And we will announce at the end of the buddy read or the next video, we will announce what book we're going into next. We are so excited. I think it'll go with November for everybody. And it's the one my husband has agreed to. So we'll talk about in the next one. But anyway, to be continued. See you later. Bye.